When you first think of Left 4 Dead 2 and its many mutations and game modes, what do you first think of? Tank Run? Noam Chomsky's Heal or Be Healed? I don't know what it's called. But the first one I think of immediately is Realism and its sister mode, Realism Versus. And today I kind of want to talk about those differences between the two and why you should play them more. But a few things before I really start into this. First and foremost, some of the information was kind of difficult to get, even though it is kind of base information. But that kind of stems from Realism Versus's extremely hard, like, lobby entrance, I guess you could say. It's almost near impossible. You'll see a clip here in a few minutes that I put in where I'm trying to actually get into a versus realism match, but there are no lobbies, there are no games, there are nothing. I'm assuming that the community is probably behind, hosting most of these. So if you want to go out and try and find and play versus realism, you might have to check within the community servers to actually try and find like a really good server. But I'm sure they're out there. You gotta look. Now, some of you might know already what I'm going to talk about, which if you do, heck yeah, you're a little bit a step above the rest. But sometimes, it's good to get the information out there because some people don't really fully understand what realism is about. And I think that's genuinely why people are staying away from it and why, we aren't seeing as many players in both realism and versus realism. So, maybe me kind of adding some context to what it is, what the game mode does, and how you'll probably fare in it. Which it's not even really that bad. It's not even that much of a difference from normal campaign. But I want to get people to play it more because genuinely, realism is probably the better game mode. It helps you learn Left 4 Dead 2. It helps you understand most of the systems Left 4 Dead 2, while trying to also improve yourself and get better at the game. And honestly, I think genuinely if people tried realism at least once or twice, then a lot of new players also going into versus would have a better understanding of, what to do, what not to do, and ultimately lead to better games and less people being kicked in the future, which, should be every Left 4 Dead 2 player's ultimate goal to keep the game and community thriving. You know, simple gamer stuff. But I think that's all I need to say. Let's go on to the video, shall we? All right. So this first clip is just, a random realism player just playing the game. And you'll notice how he's moving, where he's going to, his position, him holding out against the zombies. There's a lot of things that this man does in this very short clip. And I could spend an entire video myself just going over everything. But the one thing I want to hammer home is he's essentially like mastered every single aspect of the game. And you can clearly tell he's holding out, he's waiting, he's able to run efficiently from the witch when he does eventually startle her. And, he's able to effectively take out each and every special infected. And genuinely, that's what realism teaches you. It teaches you to be on your toes, hold out, actually take the threats as they are threats. And, this clip is a perfect example of that. But yeah, honestly, like if you really don't know how to play the game mode, just watch the pros play it and you'll quickly understand where to go and what to do. And, this clip speaks volumes for that. Now let's talk about the differences between realism and campaign. First and foremost, auras and halos. As you can clearly see with the first clip, there aren't really any halos when you first look at the items, but once you get up close to them, and this includes weapons too, it shows up. So it's kind of, makes it a little bit more difficult, but doesn't, take it away from you. Whereas with the survivor clip that you're going to see, it takes away the aura, the halo, whatever you want to call it, and just completely disables that. So you can't even see your fellow survivors through walls if they get pounced or anything anymore. Communication, communication, communication. Literally, communication is the fundamental stepping stone for learning how to play Left 4 Dead 2 properly, and I believe that is more so in realism. Understanding how to properly talk and effectively coordinate with your teammates that's life or death. That's literally facing down a horde of zombies with your teammates or by yourself. Alright, so fire, yes, does the same amount of damage in realism as campaign, at least to my knowledge, and it works fundamentally the same way. So at least we have that going for us in realism. The witch, however, is completely different. On every difficulty except easy, she will instantly capacitate you. So that makes her a complete hindrance, and even seeing a witch on the field is you're basically telling one of your teammates to, hey, go take one for the team. Or, maybe one of the good players will step up and deal with that for you. Now let's talk about everybody's favorite subject, respawning. And as you can clearly see here, Coach is able to use the defibrillator properly. So that means the defibrillator works in realism. But here's the thing, defibrillator is the only way to actually revive a teammate outside of using the safe room. Spawn closets, rescue closets, whatever you want to call them, are disabled completely for the mode, so I wouldn't even think about using those. Explosive bullets and fire bullets still function the exact same as they do in campaign, but just keep in mind that they will do extra damage to your teammates if you do shoot them. So I'm not trying to discourage you from not using the bullets, but just keep in mind that you will do some damage to your teammates if one of them does get hit. Alright, let's talk about the tank for a second. The tank fundamentally still functions about the same. I believe his rock throws are insta-kills now, so if you get hit with those, you're basically dead. On any game mode, I think, except easy. But normal, advanced, and expert, you'll instantly get destroyed. But his health is still the same, so on easy, it should still be 3,000, normal 4, and advanced and expert's 8. So, I mean, you're still working with the same numbers as a tank. It's just, he just does a lot more damage and will instantly ruin your day if you get hit once by him. Now, for a lot of finales, specifically in realism, you will notice that most of the time you'll get at least 2 tanks. Every finale I've ever played on expert, I've gotten 2 tanks. Sometimes you'll get 1 if you play on easy and normal, but most of the time you'll get 2. So please prepare for that accordingly. Not a lot of people do realize that, you'll be fighting 2 tanks. You usually always will fight 2 tanks. Sometimes you will fight 3. I have heard reports, and this is just, in the forums and stuff, that there sometimes spawn 3 tanks on the sacrifice finale. And I think also the lighthouse, last stand. But I'm not really sure, and I haven't really tested those out. But if someone wants to, feel free. And honestly, that's really the only differences between realism and campaign. And I think genuinely you should play realism. It is one of the best game modes in the entire game. It's fundamentally the apex game mode, dude. If you want to play Left 4 Dead 2 for real, if you want to play the game for real, play realism. But thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, like and subscribe. And if you didn't, also like and subscribe because, I told you to.